Hey squad, so I'm just going to play through a few matches here just to try and hopefully share some useful hints. I don't know what it's going to be like to try and talk and play at the same time. Just making excuses here if I start losing all these battles. So first thing I do is when you get connected to someone, go in and check them out. See what sort of win ratio they've got. Will give you an idea of how tough they're going to be. If they've got a high win ratio, so here he's 1.6, so he's borderline. Probably going to have to be a bit careful. If he was anything higher than 1.6, I'd be making sure I've got some decent war cards and probably getting them out early. Anything lower than about 1.6, I don't tend to use war cards, but depends what they throw at me. And what sort of troops you get as well. Obviously some of it's down to luck as to what troops you get, so fire out the biggest number of troops I've got at the moment, which was 2 of the paratroopers, just to give them something to fire at. We'll get a jeep out there early as well. I like to leave the jeep till a bit later normally, because if I can give them their full attention, they'll take them out pretty quickly. We've got 4 snipers there, so that's definite. Get those out as soon as possible. So he's already started to use war cards. I'm not going to use any yet, because things aren't quite dire enough yet, so we'll see how things go in the next 30 seconds. So this is really just this first stage of the battle is just purely about staying on top of their troops. Try and keep the battlefield as clear as possible. And that'll give you a chance to then dominate, and that's what you're aiming to do really, is just dominate, get as many of your troops on the field and as few of theirs, and then what you'll find is if you're dominating the field of your troops, they'll start taking out their troops pretty much straight away, and give you a chance to focus on shooting them. Yeah, talking and doing this isn't so easy. That's not good. Okay, so I'm going to use a war card now. Things are just getting a little bit hairy. I don't know if you guys noticed, quite early on, he used a war card airstrike, which pretty much wiped my domination out. So it's a good one to use as a turnaround card, definitely. If you find that they're starting to dominate, it's a good start, wasn't it? I'm going to show you some tips, and I've lost my first battle. Let's hope for better on this one. Right, so we're going to use. Yeah, so I can't remember what I said halfway through that match. So yeah, definitely early on, if you can get a pot shot, quick sniper shot at them, or maybe 2, to their chief, take down their health a little bit, and then just focus on trying to dominate the field. Don't worry too much about them. Just keep focusing on their troops, taking them out as quickly as possible. Obviously some of you guys are slightly lower levels at the moment, so you won't be seeing things like some of the heavier troops, the buggy. The buggy's a pain in the arse. You've got to use a rocket launcher to take it out, and one that's upgraded as well, otherwise you'd still have to use quite a few shots. But yeah, rocket launcher, sniper rifle, to take them out. Right, what have we got? Win ratio of 1. It would be embarrassing if this one beats me, because it's fairly unusual. I'll get beaten by somebody with a win ratio of 1, he says. It's because I'm talking at the same time, honest. Right, so he's on the left side, if I want to get a couple of pot shots in on him. So what have we got? Biggest squad out first, remember. Let's stick a couple of snipers out. Right, what's he got? Some nice easy ones to start with. I prefer the sniper for quick takeouts, to be honest with you. Quite happy using the machine gun as well. I already sent them a Jeep out, lovely. Right. As you can see, pretty serious rockets. So one rocket launcher. Dodge out of the way. That's another thing you've got to do here as well, is really dodge. Keep an eye on incoming fire. Yes. Okay, so 4 of those will help dominate the field a little bit. Stick a couple of snipers down as well, reload. I'm still not really focusing on him at the moment. I'm not really dominating the field enough. Alright, a couple of paratroopers. Right, let's take a couple of shots at him. Snipers. Right, take a few more pot shots at him. Looks like he's struggling a bit with the old health now. There we go. So yeah, just to recap, that main focus was just try and dominate the field with your troops, pump as many of yours out, always go for the big numbers. Doesn't matter if they're not the best troops, it just gives them a bit of cannon fodder. Yeah, you just want as many troops out there as possible. It gives you a chance to dominate the field. And then, once you're dominating, you can then focus on sniper rifling or grenading or whatever you prefer to do. Their boss. Machine gunning, whatever. Also firing your weapons, I don't know, this is maybe what everybody does anyway, but machine gun, unless it's an engineer, then you tend to be using short bursts. We'll normally deal with most enemies a couple of short bursts. Win ratio of 1, so hopefully not too much of a challenge. I don't really worry about their stats too much, to be honest with you. Doesn't really matter. I don't tend to adjust my tactics based on what sort of strength of weapons or army they've got or whatever. 4 snipers, bonus. Right. There is actually a disadvantage to getting a couple of shots in on them early, which I will talk about in a minute, if I remember. What's he done? Yeah, that's a nice card. What was he played there? I think they've got rid of all of my shields. Yeah, so one of the disadvantages to hit them early with a couple of sniper rifle shots is I found with some players that panic them, and they're more likely to throw out some war cards quite early in the match, and if they do that, you tend to find that they can dominate, and it's quite hard to get back from, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's better not to fire. And just deal with the battlefield first, and let them gain a bit of confidence while you just slowly dominate. Kevlar, handy. few helicopters, this guy. 4 snipers, lovely. This got extra energy as well, this chopper that's taking a few shots. Why am I just missing it? What to do about the paratroopers? Right, he's dominating now in a big way. I think we're going to need some health. And we are going to need tires just in case. Right, I think we're going to win this one. My only chance. I can. I was hoping to just stay alive there just for when the shields went down. I could have just thrown a volley at him. His energy was low as well, but it wasn't to be. Even though I'm losing some of these, hopefully the tips will actually help you guys out. They do genuinely work most of the time for me. I think it's just because I'm concentrating on talking and trying to stay on top of them as well. But like I say, it has definitely, since I've hit level 18, things have definitely ranked up a bit, which you'd expect on these people. They get into fairly high ranks as well. 0.8, it'll be really embarrassing if I lose this. So yeah, it's definitely much tougher. I think my win ratio will be dropping off a bit now. Which isn't the be all and end all. I think, like Rough Riders said, win points are the main thing, but it's good to be able to get those win points quite quickly. So, engineers are a good shout to get out first, actually, because they take a bit of firepower to kill. Be embarrassed if he turns this around. And a Jeep as well. I think he's in trouble. Again, the same principle here, and he could easily beat me if you don't watch what you're doing. He could easily turn it around at any time, doesn't matter what win ratio you are. You've got to win a battle. They don't win themselves, obviously. But the key to that again is just stay on top of their troops. Just don't let them build up any. Some of it is luck. If you get a couple of 4 troops out one after the other, you get 8 troops out in the space of 10 seconds. It's going to turn the battle for you big time. And obviously that can happen both sides. So sometimes it doesn't matter how good or bad an opponent is. Some of it is just down to luck. As to what troops you get. So I don't know what that is at 50-50 if I won 2, lost 2. I think my win ratios must have dropped below, it's below 4. Dear oh dear. Alright, what have we got? 1.9, so this one's going to be a challenge. I don't think I've got much in the way of Great War cards at the moment, so I'll just take what we've got. It's nice to have a couple of decent health medikits to turn things around. They've got me out of trouble quite a few times and managed to keep me hanging on for a victory. Not a great start. I don't like to get a Jeep out first. They can. I've got the wrong side. I wasn't paying attention, was I? Yeah, if you get a Jeep out first, once you get to Jeeps, they can focus all of their attention on the Jeep, so it's not too much of a challenge. Parachute in the way. See now he's building up troops quite quickly here. I've got to be careful. I shouldn't really have spent so much time shooting at him. They are a pain in the arse, these troops with the shields. They're great to deploy, but they're a pain to hit on the way in. 4 snipers, that might just do it for me. Come on. Yeah, those swap troopers, they're bad. They're a pain to shoot, really. You've got to sniper them when you can see over the top of their shield. And what have we got? Oh, I've got quite a wait for the next dog tag, so 1-3, lost 2, could be worse, but even the losses are important. One thing that I didn't really cover, we didn't get any battles there where the shields dropped. When you're in that situation, always keep on the move and just keep firing, machine gun preferably, just directly at them. Don't worry about any other troops on the field. A lot of times I see opponents still sort of static rather than moving, so it's quite easy to pick them off with a machine gun. So keep an eye on your clock. If you're down to about sort of 10 seconds, just make sure you've got your guns loaded. Definitely have your machine gun loaded. And then throw everything directly at them. Don't just ignore everything else. Just keep firing at them as soon as the shields drop. I reckon 90% of the time that's won me. Those kind of situations. So that's it. Good luck, guys. I'll try and do another video soon if there's anything I've missed. Actually, one thing that I haven't really talked about is troops. I'll save that for another video as to which troops are stronger. I think you probably worked it all out for yourselves, I think, by now. The important thing is the number. If you see you've got 4 troops to deploy. Early part of the match, just focus on keeping their squad wiped out and keep an eye on your troops and see and manually deploy whatever's your biggest number, especially early on. You'll dominate the field and it'll make your battles much easier. Alright, so see you soon, guys.